Okay, so today we are redoing a not so professional repair done by Juan Mendoza. If you're not familiar with his name, he advertises a lot in the Facebook groups for any of these trucks for the 99 to 2014 kind of trucks going on. He advertises in those groups. People have given him a hard time before about his LED selection he used in some of them where they had like really bad hotspots, but he's deleted those posts since then, so I can't go pull him up. But I did remember that as soon as I saw his name on the slip. So his customer sent me this cluster. I'm sure the camera's not really picking it up, but he painted the needles all the way around, so the whole thing is painted. Um, and here's his packaging slip with his name on it, so you know I'm not lying. And show you some pictures real quick of the customer sent, so that way you can see his workbench, because again he posts them in all of his pictures, so you know he's not lying. So there's some pictures from Juan Mendoza before he sent these off. So let's just go through there. So yeah, that's Juan Mendoza's workbench, and I'm not making this video to be a total jerk, but this is completely outrageous to send this to a customer. I mean, come on, that's I mean, it. These motors are completely shot. These two, these oil are not going to save them. They have so much play in them that so. See, these just move left and right just a hair. I mean, these I can like, come on now. There's nothing left there to save. That motor is completely junk. And he charged the customer roughly $200 for this. It was like 190 or something like that is what the customer told me for. I mean, I'm gonna have to take this needle off anyways to do the work, so let's just take a look at it. I mean, this needle has been pretty much just painted with like fingernail polish or something. I mean, come on, what the fuck is this? This is garbage. I mean, you can paint these needles. I mean, there's nothing wrong with painting them. But let me just show you real quick. I'm trying to help the community out here. This is to make you a better technician. This is not me being mean here. Let me move this out of the way so that way I don't get crumbs all over it from doing it. So take the needle. Take your old needle. You can see they're clear all the way throughout except for right here at the bottom. So take like a razor or sandpaper and just scrape the bottom real good. You're going to have to touch it up with some sandpaper after you scrape it, but I find scraping to be the fastest way. But see, now that I've scraped just a hair of it, you can see it's clear now. It's now clear. So then paint the bottom, just the bottom. That's it. That's all you got to paint on these. Just paint the bottom of them, and you'll get that color that you want, whatever color it was you wanted, and they come through. I don't offer that as a service because I don't really like doing custom work. My thing is I like to get into the circuit boards, do stuff to the circuit boards. So it's not a service I offer, but I know how to do it. So yeah, if you want to change the color of these, just sand the bottom of them, paint them, just the bottom, and they'll work. They'll light up at night. But these, as you could see, where did it go? Here it is. All four sides of this are painted. It's painted with probably nail polish. How the hell is this supposed to light up at night? How is somebody supposed to see this? That's outrageous, especially to charge money for this. I mean, like this one I scraped, so I can't judge them on it now because I scraped it. But let's grab, because the speedo's gonna have to come off too. That motor is just completely shot. I mean, look at that. You can see his fingerprint in the paint. You got fingerprints in your paint job. How is that something you're going to charge somebody? There you go. Did it catch it? There you go. Fingerprints in the paint. How are you going to charge somebody money for this shit? Like, seriously? Seriously. That's unprofessional. Completely unprofessional. And I'm not doing this to be a jerk. I'm doing this because that's outrageous. What are you doing? What are you doing? And then you ignore your customer when your customer tells you they have a problem with it? You're just not even going to respond to it? Like, you have no business doing this kind of stuff. You have absolutely no business doing any of these kind of repairs. If you're going to charge somebody $200 for trash needles, absolutely garbage, with trash stepper motors, or air core motors, sorry. They're air core motors in these, not steppers. And for a $20 inlay, yeah, this inlay is only $20 fucking dollars, all right, guys? This is not a $200 job. There's nothing $200 here. That it is just absolutely not. I don't care that there's trans temp on it. Come on, I have videos on how to make trans temp. So all these fucking needles have to come off of here because they're garbage. And let's take a look. Let's open it up. I haven't even opened it up yet, but let's see what his solder work looks like. Let's take a look. Let's see if he even hit all the problem areas. So yeah, this one's got me heated, guys. I'm sure y'all can tell, but what the hell? You know, just I'm not a perfectionist, all right? Things don't have to be perfect. But that's just unreasonable. Especially to not, respond to your customer after they've told you they had a problem with it. That stuff wasn't working right, and you're just going to ignore them. So let's see. Maybe. I don't think he did, though. Let's pull this off. Get this guy off of here. He probably watches my videos, I don't know. Mendoza, if you're in here watching, yeah, I mean every word I've said in here. So, okay, I'm not familiar with these bulbs. I don't know how reliable they are. I'd have to look them up. So if anyone recognizes this particular LED, where he's getting it from, I'm not sure. Let's see, is there a name brand anywhere? Yeah, there's no brand name anywhere on there, but it's got 2 chips on there, it looks like. So, okay. I can't talk on these. I don't know anything about them. But it does not look like he bothered to take the screen off here at all. Yeah. And okay, we have some cracked solder joints on here that didn't take care of, that could eventually cause problems. I'll get it under the microscope so you can see what I'm talking about here. But yeah, let me get the razor here and just see. Yeah, that still has. He never took this off. So yeah, come on. This it's a 5-minute job to reflow the resistors on here, so that way you don't. Oh, he did reflow the resistors though. He didn't take it off. He tilted it up. You can see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He bends them up because you can see that it has been reflowed, but these are still. That's still got the factory. Okay, still got the factory conformal coating where they spray it with conformal coating on there, and he did reflow them, and that's not really a reflow. Let me get it off of there so that way you can see, because I'm gonna reflow this anyways. This, it should have been done in the first place. I don't get why I'm having to do this. Juan, you already had this cluster. You sold this to him with the inlay on there. Did you? Yeah, okay. He did at least take the old one off before he put the new one on. Just making sure he didn't tape. I was worried he may have glued it on to the old one, but he did not. It is off of there, so. Okay. He did not desolder this and take it off, but he did reflow it. But let's take a look under the microscope at just how cold and far from actually reflowed these are. And by the way, look at how much it bent once you take it off, because he clearly just bends them up to work on them, which is terrible. It's not the way to do it. I know we've all done it before when we were learning. So we'll take this one as a learning point. Don't bend them up. The reason why is when you bend them up, you put a ton of stress on all of these pads here, and these pads are already the top coating on these boards is pretty thin layer on there. Super easy to break them. So let me get this off of there. So, Let's get this guy. Alright, so I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to switch you guys over to the microscope so you can see uh, this reflow. It's kind of pathetic. I mean, no, it's completely pathetic. We'll take a look at it, though. Yeah, that one's not even connected. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, this. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let me just get some tweezers or something to get down there and grab the bottom of the resistor here. Look at how well attached that solder job is. I mean, come on, that's it's not even soldered to it at all. Like, that pad is not attached. And yeah, let me just zoom this out a little bit so that way you can see it a little better on the overall focus. You fuck. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. I bet that one's not attached either. Let's see. Kinda. That one looks like that's just the pad moving, but the other one, that one's clearly just not even attached at all. That's not soldered to the board. That's cracked already from his poor solder job. But I mean, look at that. That's pathetic. This one's hardly making any contact. This one's hardly making any contact anywhere too. There's no sign of flux. There's zero sign of any flux, and there's zero sign of scrubbing also. So yeah, he didn't even use flux at all. Just plain solder. Let's take a look at the next one. This one will passable. That's a passable solder joint. That'll work, I guess. I mean, this one's just a ball. Let's tilt it over so you can see it. That's just a ball there. There's no fillet to it at all. Like, zero fillet at all. So yeah, let's come take a look at this. This is where more jokes begin. I mean, look at that. That's literally a ball. I mean, come on. I'm not too quick to judge people's solder either. I mean, I'm not the best in the world, but if you compare me me to this, if this was the rest of the world, I am the best. But hell no, that's terrible. Let's zoom in, get it, zoom it out, and again, look at that. Look at it. There's no fillet to it at all. I mean, see this. This one, I guess you could argue, has a little bit of fillet to it. I mean, that guy right there. That one looks like it might be doing its job. But oh my god. Yeah. Terrible. That's all what I have to say about this. There's nothing else to say here other than you need to practice. You need to buy some flux. But I'm going to reflow all this. There's no need to. I'll show you it when I'm done, but I'm not going to record doing that. Save some time. This is a quick video. This is just judging somebody else's work. But and again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not trying to be mean here. This is let's improve what I haven't completely cleaned off the flux here yet. I just kind of wiped it off a little bit so you can see. So I've reflowed them now, and notice it now has a fillet to it. So it's actually, we know we had good surface tension and that everything is soldered on. So again, yeah, there's some flux I still got to scrub off. This one, a little heavy-handed on the solder, but we still have a fillet to it, so we know we have a good connection there. And let's come over camera. All right. Again, little hair excessive on the solder, but we still have a fillet, so we know everything's good. So I'm not going to complain. And these through holes, they can be relatively. They take a lot of solder because it'll pull it through on these a little bit. So let's take a look at these. These I'm a little more proud of. But this is what your solder should look like when you're done. And just out of fairness to him, to make sure that he wasn't just using some super cheap solder that just won't flow, I put some flux on it and didn't add any solder at all. All what I actually did was get the solder wick out and wick out about half of what he had, because he had pretty excessive amounts of solder in there. But yeah, we got perfectly good solder joints using the exact same solder he is. I mean, look at that. Look at that. There's nice fillets on all of these. You can see them throughout. Perfect textbook kind of solder we're looking for on here. and this is not what I expect every single person to do. They don't have to be textbook perfect, but they damn sure better connect to it. Like if they were all excessive blobs, like excessive like that, where you can still see a fillet on there, I wouldn't judge them at all. I'd have been like, okay, just a little heavy-handed with the solder, but it works. But yeah, no, those were just not soldered at all. So now, since we got the microscope out, let's take a look at some of those other spots on the board I was talking about, where we definitely have some cracked solder joints that need to be reflowed. So let me orient myself here. There we go. That one definitely has a big old crack ring around it there. You can just see it all around it right there. Um, may move, may not. It doesn't appear to move yet. So it's not completely cracked, but it's got a fracture on it. It's got a fracture around that whole edge of it there. And there's a bunch of those. There's a couple of them up here at the top. These are pretty common spots here. They're just like spots that get stressed a lot. And there we go. We can see another one clear as day right there. I don't even need the microscope. It looks like a pube. Ugh, gross. Gross. All right, there we go. Yeah, definitely that one's good and cracked. Doesn't move at all, but we can still see that whole stress ring all the way around it there and there. These top corners and bottom corners are really common on these. Let's see here. Get it down there. Just a little bit on this top corner too. You just got these top two right here, but the bottom one seemed to be fine. And we'll go down to the bottom corner of it too. Just really common spots that always pretty much need a little bit of reflow on these. So only one. This one's fine, but the other one there, it's got a stress ring in it, so we'll take care of it. Let's take a look at the plug here. I normally will ignore the plug on the 03 to 04 ones. You just don't really get it. But this one, I don't know. It seems like customers have a harder time pulling them out. So you tend to get some cracked solder joints on these. I think that's just the light there. That doesn't look like those are actual cracks in it. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any stress rings or okay, we got one. That looks like that's probably one. That may just be the light, but it takes 2 seconds to reflow it, so we'll hit that one too. And let's see, this is another common spot to get them on these right here. Let's see where there it is. Yep, and there's a crack. It's just a little stress ring. That one's not cracked either. It's on the verge of it, but not quite cracked. So, not too much needing to be reflowed on the backside. Let's check the trip reset button. They get pretty nasty too from people smashing them all the time. This one looks fine to the naked eye. Let's see here. Go down, down, down. Trying to get it on the microscope. Let's see. This one's one of them. Okay, so I'm just out of focus there. Yeah, looks perfectly fine to me. I wouldn't complain about that. So yeah, we'll just reflow the couple little spots and then replace those motors. But this is sad. Okay, so just for the purpose of showing, this is the Speedo one. You can see I took it out of there. So Speedo one's out. Let's show at least what the minimum, bare minimum, should have been done. Take this. I get asked all the time, what do I use? I use Superlube silicone oil. I like it because it is safe with a lot of materials like plastics and stuff. It's also food safe. I still wouldn't eat it, but I actually worked in restaurants for a long time, and we used the same stuff on our meat slicers. But okay, so take a syringe. This is a 20 milliliter syringe, and you pull the air out, and then just let it go back down and kind of push down a little bit. And we're just trying to get some of this in there to replace that old dried out dampening oil. And we'll see. I just barely did it, so it's still going to spin a lot. It's still spinning a little bit less than before. But let's go ahead and put a little bit more in there see if we can fix this more. But like I said, this motor is shot. I'm not going to reuse this motor, but this is just the bare minimum that should have been done to it. Is get that. Let me get. There's a ton of air in here. Let's get some of that air out. All right. And yeah, we don't use a needle or anything on this. You just have it just like that. Bare minimum. If you have bad motors, at least do this for them. Because I get it, they don't sell most of these anymore new. Like, you can't find new ones of these most of the time. And if you can, they're like $60 each. So I get not replacing them all the time and just putting some of this new oil in them, especially when they're just slightly gone, you know. They get worse and worse over time. Oop, and there we go, that time. See, that's why I always pick it up before I do it, because now I got oil all over it. But let's see here. Let's see if this made any difference there. Look at that. Look at that. One turn. One turn. Let's see. This motor is semi-usable, but it's got a ton of play in it too, so I'm not putting it back on there. That's all you have to do. This would not jitter anymore for him. Because that was his complaint, is the new cluster when he got it, the fuel was completely jittery. And also when he got it from the customer, I'm going to show you the chat from him. So he's driving down the road in this picture. I'm just going to cover up the customer's name there. So he's driving down the road in the picture, and as you can see, Taco and Speedo's dead. He sends a message to Juan asking, hey, it's not working, and he never gets a response from him. Just no response ever again. So the guy ghosted him at that point, which is, I'd forgive him. I'd forgive him and say, oh, you didn't know better on the motors. Like, I get it. Sometimes you just don't know better on things. And just say, cut rate with these needles, not too bad. And, oh, he didn't know on that. But once you ghost the customer, that's just completely unforgivable, in my opinion. There are customers you're not going to be able to solve their problems, though. Let me be very clear on that too. There are customers that just have problems with their truck, and there's nothing you can do to help them because it's not a problem with the circuit board, and they just won't listen to you. You'll get these ones, you'll get them a lot where they have a bad ground on it. They send it to you for repair. You power it up on the bench. Go, hey, nothing's wrong with it. Everything works perfectly fine. Inspect it. Go, yeah, I don't see any cracked solder joints that are a problem. Let me just ship it back to you. You just pay shipping and it's no big deal. They get it back and it still doesn't work for them, and they go, oh, yeah, I paid you for shipping and this, that, and the other. I still won't refund them at that point. It's like, no, I mean, I'm not paying for the shipping. And those customers aren't happy. But I don't charge them to look at it. But that's my opinion. I get it if you do charge. You spent time on that board, and you do have a right to charge a bench fee, but I don't. That's my preference. I don't charge a bench fee for testing. You can see how he programmed the odometer on this is on the top. Perfectly fine. That's how I do it. There's no judgment there. They do make OBD2 tools that you can program these with. I don't own it, and clearly he doesn't own it either. I have no problem with that. So let's take a look at the customer's original cluster, because I like it. I really dig his old cluster because it's really old school. So let's take a look at this. This is his original cluster. This did not go to Juan for anything. Juan never touched this one. So let's take the lens off here and take a look at this. Y'all get a kick out of this. This is like 2002 all over again on this board. This is long before my time of working on this. These are stickers. They're vinyl stickers. These are before my time. I've never seen them in person before. That's on the wrong side of that. But yeah, okay. So this is another. Okay, so the customer decided he wanted to go with the 03 and up needles on here to replace these painted ones that he had gotten from Juan that were painted. So let me show you how to do this. I don't think I've shown it on the channel before, so I figured I would record it. You take the needle and just take another one of these and get it for a comparison. Get you about the height that you need to cut off. Take you your flat cutters there and trim it down. So you just cut that so that way they're roughly the same thing. And then take your hot air station and I just keep around a spare motor that's really no good at all, and heat up the stator support, I guess what you call it, or the stator, the metal rod that sticks out that the needle sits on. Just get that a little bit warm so we can get it started on there, and then kind of heat up the base of the needle a little bit, and try to go nice and flat with it on there. And that's all there is to it, is just do that. And then while it's still kind of warm, go ahead and pull it on off of there, because the diameter of the hole on these is a little bit smaller than the diameter of the rod there. So that's all you're doing there. Just go ahead and do the other one. Last two here. Alright, heat this up, and be careful cutting those, that plastic just goes flying. You can't do that to these Chinese ones that most of us use as the aftermarket needles. Those ones just don't work for doing that. Different kind of plastic, and they're not drilled all the way through either. So, yep, that's all there is to it. So you just kind of heat up the plastic so it gets soft. I'm assuming it's like a HEDP kind of plastic. Maybe it's ABS, but I don't think it's ABS. But that's all there is to doing them. So, and you just set them like you would the original needles. Hey, one thing I just wanted to mention about the customer side of this is I did not give him any sort of discount or anything for feeding me information on this guy or whatever. However you might feel about it, yeah, he didn't get any sort of special treatment or discount for this. He also did not ask me to do this either. He's not, out to get the guy. He was just like, okay, if this guy's not going to return my calls or text messages, well, sorry, not text messages, he messaged him on Facebook Messenger. So phone calls or Facebook messages, then, I'm done with them. I'm moving on to the next guy. So, don't, if you are Juan Mendoza, don't go attack your customer over this. This is all just me. So I just wanted to get that out there too. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.